Dum da dum da dum da dum da da da. Dum da dum da dum da dum da da da. Dum da dum da dum da dum da da da.
Okay, ready? Okay. Hi, my name is Savannah Brissett. I'm a HeartLife student, and I'm going to tell you about the bus life on the road trip. On the road trip, we had two vehicles for the 27 students plus the parents and children. One was a big white bus, 25 passenger seats. The other was a white van, 10 passenger seats. The van was usually only 3/4 full, meaning that there was usually 7 passengers. The bus, on the other hand, well, there was 20 kids and then some adults. A lot of the time, all the seats were taken. The seating arrangements would vary. It was usually same gender seating, girls with girls, guys with guys. We had days, though, when that rule was banished. Some days you could sit by the opposite gender, and some days you had to sit by someone you hadn't sat by yet. The seating rules would be explained at the beginning of the day, before we started driving. We had some activities that we did during certain parts of the trip. One thing we did throughout the trip was watching educational movies. Before we left, we had a TV installed in the front of the bus. One set of movies we watched was called John Adams. It was about John Adams' place in government and the war and what happened to him in his life. We also watched a fictional series called Centennial. It's about how a town in Colorado came to be and what happened to it. Its setting is in the pioneer years, when people were just starting to venture out into the West. We watched other non-educational movies as well, but not many. We played games at certain parts of the trip as well. One game we played toward the end was called Mafia. Its setting is in a town. There are the townspeople, the cops, the doctor, and the mafia. You are handed a card. The jack is the mafia, the king is the doctor, and the aces are the cops. There are 2 mafia and 2 cops, but only 1 doctor. The rest of the cards are townspeople. You also have a storyteller. The storyteller tells everyone to go to sleep. Then they tell the mafia to wake up. The mafia choose someone to take out. Then they go back to sleep. Then the doctor wakes up, chooses someone to save, and then goes back to sleep. The cops wake up and choose somebody to question. They choose somebody, and the storyteller tells them if they are in the mafia or not. Then they go back to sleep. Then everybody wakes up. Here's where the storyteller comes in. If the person that the mafia wanted to kill wasn't saved by the doctor, they died. The storyteller got up to make their death scene. The storyteller got to make up their death scene. Then they would hand over their card, and they would find out who you killed. After this, everybody got to choose people to question. If you thought someone was guilty, you called them on it. Once you were seconded, the person in question gave their alibi. Then the people got to vote over whether or not they did it. If the majority of the voters said they were guilty, then they died. The game is over when the mafia have killed the cops or the cops have killed the mafia. Driving is a great time to do homework. We had quite a lot of it this year. Some of the things we did were language arts homework, and for that we had assignments for each place we stopped. And we needed to do the projects usually before we got there, but there were times when we got to do it afterwards. We had computer projects to work on, art projects, and character assignments. The character assignments we worked on were, in a group of 3 or 4, we had to make a song involving the character process in some way. We also had to keep a photo and written journal. It was a cool way to keep track of the trip.